Hi, so this is just a quick video, hopefully, just to announce that uh, I've been on the Trustpilot website and I've noticed that the legal ombudsman has 96% one-star reviews out of 342 reviews. That's out of 342 reviews, 96% are one-star reviews. 96%. Can you believe that? You couldn't make that up. So I'm going to do a video about that. I'll also do a short video about the Solicitors Regulation Authority. Their amount of one-star reviews, which is even worse. So it doesn't surprise me at all. And probably even some of the few that, that aren't one-star reviews, sometimes people post on the wrong place, sometimes, like I've seen it like that with Legal Ombudsman before. And I think Solicitor Regulation Authority, that they've posted something that was not for that particular company, So that just shows you how awful they are, and it's a measure of the corruption in this country. It's a measure in the corruption in these professions, so-called professions, solicitors profession. This solicitors profession, English solicitors profession, I would say it's probably the worst profession in the country. If not that, then it's one of the worst. I'd say it's the worst, most corrupt, and the nastiest, most arrogant people in that profession. I think they have a lot of psychopaths in that profession, because I listened to a podcast about narcissists and psychopaths, and as I was listening to it, I was thinking, yes, I've met solicitors that fit that criteria. Yes, fit that criteria, fit that profile. So narcissist psychopaths seem to be, and this woman, she was like a doctor, as far as degrees are held, that this degree, she said they're in a lot of psychopaths are in these professions. She mentioned law. She mentioned law. That was one of the things she mentioned. She mentioned in the medical profession, in the universities, the academic profession. She even mentioned they go to church to present a good cover for themselves. They're in church. That is disturbing. And I would agree that it's true, because I've been in a church that turned into a cult, and that the leader, he was nasty, and I would absolutely say he was narcissistic and psychopathic. He was very abusive. He was a dictator. He was shocking. So yeah, I would agree with that. I'll just have a quick look on the web page. So it's the 96% is, let's have a look here. It's 328 out of 400. Sorry, 328 out of 342 reviews. 1 star. And then there's a 2 star, less than 1%. 3 star, 1%. 4 star, less than 1%. 5 star, 1%. And they've got an AI review summary of the reviews. I'll read that. Most reviewers were let down by their experience overall. Customers expressed significant dissatisfaction with the company's ethics, service, and payment processes. People feel that the organization does not hold individuals accountable, and some even suggest it should be shut down. Consumers report that their complaints were not taken seriously, with some reviewers claiming evidence was ignored or misrepresented. Many reviewers feel the organization is biased towards lawyers, with some alleging corruption and a lack of impartiality. Consumers report that the staff's performance is inconsistent. Some reviewers describe positive interactions with individual staff members, while others express concerns about their qualifications and handling of cases. People report a sentiment of government entities protecting lawyers instead of consumers. That's absolutely right when it saying government entities protecting lawyers instead of consumers. Because I mean, lawyers, solicitors, they're state, they may not work directly for the government, but they're state sanctioned professionals. You know, they're officers of the courts, and obviously the courts are under the control of the government, you know. So they're and the legal system, they're legal practitioners. The legal system is a government system. It's not even, the legal system is not even true law. The legal system is acts and statutes, acts of parliament, statutes. Acts of parliament, acts means acting as law. It's not the original common law. It's not the law of the land. It's the law of the sea. It's the law of the sea. It's also, the legal system is a slave system because it's derived from the Roman law, and the Romans had a slave society. So the legal system is used to keep us under control, to enslave us, and also the legal system, it's not proper law, it's government rules and regulations, only given the force of law by consent. Government rules and regulations, only given the force of law by consent. And the government is a corporation, so it's like a company's policies, a company that has its rules, that it expects its employees to operate by, and how it operates. It's government rules and regulations, not law, only given the force of law by consent. And the consent is often assumed, or they trick us into giving consent. I mean, the legal system, very few people get justice out of the legal system. I know, because I've suffered in it. You know. And you can see from all these complaints about the legal ombudsman, it's just an abuse of the the people that go to it, they should tell people not to go to them, because you're only going to be abused by them. I've been abused by the legal ombudsman. I had this woman send me a nasty dismissal letter dismissing my complaint, full of rubbish, when I was already feeling terrible because I knew that my complaint was going to be dismissed. I knew, not when I went there, but I knew after the way they treated me, and then after I did some research myself, but before I got the the response from them, and I realized that it was going to be dismissed for made up reasons. And I was already feeling really down, really depressed. And she sent me this dismissal letter that was absolutely appalling. It's absolutely abusive. Absolutely appalling, absolutely abusive. She basically acted as a spokeswoman for the crooked English solicitors. She basically acted as a spokeswoman. She endorsed the fraud they committed against me. She tried to justify the fraud they committed against me. The abuse was absolutely appalling. And this woman was she was originally an investigator, and then somehow she got made an ombudswoman. She was disgusting, absolutely appalling. Louise Smith was her name. So, anything else that I can see from point to from here? Yes, there is something else. The legal ombudsman, they have claimed their profile, and that they didn't claim their profile for years, but it seems that they've claimed their profiles since 2024. They don't seem to have claimed their profile so that they could have good customer relations, good public relations with the customers, well, the people that they abuse, really, because it says here they haven't replied to any negative reviews. If you have good intention for when you claim your profile, you use it to reply to negative reviews. They haven't replied to any negative reviews whatsoever. But I did notice that looking at legal ombudsman's flagging activity, how frequently legal ombudsman flagged their reviews in the past 12 months. It says here, legal ombudsman flagged one of their reviews a total of 1 time. So you can see why they claim their profile, in the hope of flagging reviews, in the hope that they'll be removed. So they've claimed the profile so that they can look for reviews which they think might breach Trustpilot's guidelines. They basically any excuse. And even if they've wrongly flagged it, it could still get removed, because some people use emails connected to the legal ombudsman, connected to Trustpilot or for anywhere that they don't check much. So they can easily, when they flagged a review, then Trustpilot then goes to that customer with an email and gives them only 3 days to respond, to either appeal or put what was wrong, what was complained about right. Often it's something as insignificant as using a member of staff's name. I mean, I don't think that should be against the guidelines, but they'll use that. People like legal ombudsman will use that, and because I think that if an investigator or a member of staff is happy to treat someone the way they treated them, happy to make a decision, and you stand by your decision, you shouldn't have a problem with being named if you've done nothing wrong. But they use it as an excuse. These companies use it as an excuse. So they flagged one, and it says, what happened to the one flagged review from the past 12 months? It says one review that was flagged, review removed from Trustpilot.com. So it worked for them. That's why they've claimed the profile. That's why they've claimed it. So I could say more, but I don't want this to be long, so I'm gonna end it there. But you can see what it's like. 96 one-star reviews, 96% out of 342 reviews, 96% one star, and they claim to be impartial. They're nothing of the kind. They're 80% funded by the Law Society. That is a 100% solicitor and barrister owned and controlled organization. It's their organization. They totally fund that organization. I think they have to pay a lot of money. It's Law Society is the solicitors and barristers. Totally, it's not independent in any way, shape, or form. It's the solicitors' private club, and the solicitors' private club funds the legal ombudsman at least 80%. So that's it.